This is the S&P 500 one-day reading for March 27th, 2023. It's currently February 3rd, 2023, 10:22 p.m. Eastern Time. The overall theme and behavior for the day, we have a failed attempt to break through key resistance followed by a decline through key support. And the thing about the disappointment card is it usually appears after, like, this failed attempt to break through key resistance is a second attempt at the same resistance level. So it usually appears after there's been an attempt at that resistance already, followed by the false establishment of support, and then we have the second attempt, which becomes the disappointment energy. Second attempt at the resistance, and it's like people are expecting us to break through because we've established support, but it was false support. Instead of breaking through that resistance, we turn around and we decline through that falsely established support. That's usually the chart behavior of the disappointment card. Behavior around the highest high, we have the halting of a bullish trend marked by a sharp decline through key support on a scale of a 1 day. And then there's a notably unexpected move to the upside standing out on a 1 day chart out of the lowest low. Looks like the way I'd expect the futility card to work in terms of volume, which, if you're new to this, guys, we've just added the volume placement here to the spread, so we're learning how to read it. But the way that I think I'd expect to see, like, notably bearish at one point, but turning to bullish, and strong volume. That's what I would expect. It looks like it's strong volume out of a low. There's a low correlation there. That's how I would read that. Interesting. So yeah, that would make sense. There's a notable, like, decline into a low, most likely a key technical price level on the scale of a multi-day chart. And there's a big move out of that. That's probably where there's this big move of bullish volume that comes into play. I'm advised to trade around a key support level that we rotate sideways along, at least momentarily. And well, let's get into it. So in the pre-market, there's bumping along resistance kind of behavior. We're just kind of like going horizontal, bumping along resistance. Occasionally we break through, but most of the behavior of the Valor card is going to be bumping along resistance sideways. It's bullish. And then there's a big move in right around the close out of a decline, because there's a correlation to the Prince of Cups here early in the morning. So there's like a decline that increases with momentum. And out of oversold territory here around the open, there's a big move to the upside standing out, either that or to fill a previous gap down. And then we have like more sideways fluctuating decline increasing with momentum. It looks like into the day's low around probably 11 o'clock, at which point there's a fast sudden move to the upside, taking us to very likely to a day's high or a very prominent crest. And that's an opportunity to open up a short position, possibly. We'll get into it because there's quite a few trade opportunities. There's a lot of trade stuff going on. There's sideways rotation. So after we have like this decline that turns into a fast sudden move to the upside, taking us to a high for the day. It doesn't look like we necessarily decline right off of that price level, but this unicursal becomes an important price level in some regard. We see the unicursal again on the 29th. So there's some drops coming into play, and sometimes what happens is you'll see continued bullish movement after you see unicursal, and what that indicates is that price level at some point in the future, when we have like this multi-day kind of decline, that price level will come into play as one of the price levels that we break down through. In a lot of cases, but often it'll also be like the moment at which it makes sense to open up protection. So it's kind of difficult to read here. I don't see a big drop necessarily right here. There's sideways rotation there along key support, and it looks like it's kind of like mixed. Midday we have a prominent move to the upside. It looks like there's something to do. there's some sort of speech or there's somebody speaking or some sort of like discussion around. It's highlighted around 1 o'clock, and it looks like we have this prominent move into like the moment of that discussion, followed by a full retracement of that move back down to a low or a trough, I should say. Somewhere between like 1 and 3 o'clock. Between 1 and 2ish, there's a bit of a rally along a diagonal trend line. It ends with a fast sudden move higher and then a breakdown through that diagonal trend line. That takes us into a trough there between like roughly 2 and 3 o'clock, probably around 2:30. There's 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level. Excuse me. There's 3 crisscrosses back and forth through the same price level, confirming a bullish trend between the hour of roughly 2 and 3, around that trough, and then we end up in a like a near overbought crest at resistance in the last hour, which we sell off from with consecutively lower spikes up on the way down. Right around the close, there's a move higher through a resistance level. We stay above it briefly, and then we break back down through the same price level shortly thereafter. Looks like there's a high correlator at the end of the day or in the post market, and again, it's a crest that an overbought crest that we sell off from. So quite a bit of mixed behavior going on here on the 27th. And quite a bit of trade opportunity. So it looks like in the midst of that sideways fluctuating decline, first thing in the morning, there's an opportunity to open up a long position, to close that long position probably when we have that fast sudden move higher out of a it's hard. It's really difficult to determine with this unicursal there. So I'm going to say steer clear of the trade early in the morning. There's more decline the following day. So there's a risky trade here. First thing in the morning, you could open up a long position and close that long position probably somewhere between like 11 and 12. In the midst of, like, we move to the upside, fast and move higher, and then we like do sideways rotation along key support. There's an opportunity there to close, and then also opportunity to open up a short position there in that same hour. But it's a lot of like kind of risky back and forth behavior going on, and it does look like we're in the midst of a decline. We had the Prince of Cups there. We had the Prince of Cups today for the sneak preview for the following day. So a decline increases with the momentum. It looks like it's continuing into the 28th. Let's just double check that and see. Yeah, so we have this rally to a crest early in the day on the 27th, offering an opportunity to open up a short position. Key technical price level on the 28th. We'll get into that. In any case, that's the S&P 500 for March 27th, 2023. Let me know what you think by hitting that like button. Don't forget to subscribe, and most importantly, make sure you follow that rule of karma: 5% forward, 5% backwards, and make sure whatever you spend that 90% on, you spend it out of love. The universe will send it back to you tenfold in all directions, my friends. I'll see you on the next one.